Hey, speak.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Hey,
Hear me?
uyandibona ndithengena ndingathi kanti ulele fundi.
Eqiniseke futhi uba awulelanga
Alright mhlobo.
No, khona fundi. Ku-right nabo?
Yes sir.
Yes,
Kuhle
sir.
man.
Yeah.
Kuhle
Ndithi mandiyenze
ku-right.
lapha e-ofisini.
Ndithi
mandiyenze lapha e-ofisini le nto yakho.
Oh, okay. Uphi useJoburg kanti seCape Town?
Izofumana ne-branding.
Mamela besesilive.
I'm a marketer. That's who I am.
I can see.
Every
Are you
opportunity to
Joburg?
have the market.
Okay, useJoburg okanye useCape Town?
No, lapha e-ofisini Cape Town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was there
Is it?
from Thursday until yesterday.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Bensabambekile, man. I thought I was going to touch base with you.
Oh, okay. Nam ndifike
Yeah.
Friday ya pick up.
Yeah.
Nam ndifike Friday ya pick up.
Oh, okay. Kaloku uphantsi phezulu fundi.
Unzima fundi. Unzinyani.
Uphantsi.
What is this?
Good. I can see Amandu have started joining.
Okay.
So we're just gonna wait a couple of minutes so that wonke umntu that needs to join can join. But thank you so much. We'll touch base. Magendlalile lo mculwana nje kamnandi.
Sure.
Sure. Wait a couple of minutes so that Genani bethuna sinilindile. Our guest is already here. Genani, call your friends, call your colleagues, call your family members. You can't miss this program today. So thank you for joining. I see Uloyiso Sizwe Mosi. Good to see you, mhlobam. Ndiyathemba ukuthi nilikere chinangu ujwaga yabulela mazaleni ndiyabona ukhona fondini. Yes, thank you. I want to thank you also for sharing this mazaleni together with others who are sharing these messages with other people. Kim Ongeba, thank you so much. Good to see you, sis. Sescon. Good to see you. Let's get others to join because this is a very, very inspirational discussion we're going to have today. And we need as many people as possible to join. But we won't wait long because we have just an hour to do this. And we need to get through quite a lot of stuff. And I know that others will maybe watch this at some other time. People are busy, others are traveling, others are doing all sorts of things, resting. Abanye have just come from church. So there's a lot going on, but we want everybody who can join to please join, even if they can join on the computers, on their cell phones, whatever the case may be. All right. Okay, Spi, I think let's start, Mhloba. Let's start. I guess there's enough people that have joined us, and I want to thank them, and I want to thank everyone who's joined. Amy, I see you. Babalo Nelson, I see you. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. And those that I cannot see on my device here, forgive me. I'm going to try by all means to make sure that I read your messages. And those of you who know Spee and who want to maybe say and share with us how you know him, please feel free to submit your message either on Facebook or on the YouTube channel. And talking about the YouTube channel, please, I beg you to make your comments and subscribe to that channel. Please subscribe to that channel. We want more people to be informed ahead of time of these programs that we're going to have. And make sure that you subscribe. If you are not subscribed yet, you can do it now whilst we're still waiting, whilst we're still trying to set up. Now, Spi, good to see you. Spi, how are things going?
Pretty good, man. Now you say.
Hey, man, good. I'm so happy to have you finally. Yeah, kudala ndisithi ndizakubamba. But at least now here you are.
I've been running away from your things, eh?
Sorry?
I've been running away from this.
I know. Ekugqibeleni wade wafikelela mfundini. Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to host you on this program. This program is called Moments of Insight and Growth. We bring here people that whose life stories are inspiring. People, whatever area of life that they're finding themselves in, they do whatever it is that they can do to make something out of their lives. This is a moment to inspire, especially young Black people who are growing up in difficult circumstances, to know that there are people out there who grew up in similar sets of conditions like them, who have made it, who are trying they're trying their best to grow. So the purpose of these sessions really is to inspire, to inform, educate, and motivate young people. And with this idea that with God on your side, if you work hard, intentional about what you're doing, if you can get support around you, really there's nothing that's impossible. And so we do this by looking at various people and topics. And so today, to those of you who've just joined us who may not know much about our guests, I'm honored to host a man that I've known for a very long time, from our youth days, Spee, all those years back. That's Stasa. We're going to talk about Stasa here too, This is a man of great talents, great musicians, great preacher, great businessman. I mean, I don't know how you're unable to develop all these skills, Spee, and still do what you do best in terms of business. It really is amazing. So allow me to introduce to you Sporo Ubongani Jack, who serves as a director of sales at Merchants Group. He has a long history in the financial services industry. And as you can see behind him, he's a great marketer. He has an MTech in marketing and also along with other related qualifications in the sector or in the industry. But really, your life speed and career did not start here. It started very differently from where you are today, and you
Yeah,
used to be a security guard. And
yeah.
so we'll chat about how the transition took place, so that we can inspire people, those who feel like, hey, Akoyam, there's no hope for me. There's absolutely no hope for me. I've got no money to
Mm.
carry on. My family is poor, whatever the case may be. And we want to use this story and to use your experience today, just so that you can explain your story to people, so that people can understand. So tell us, Spee, where were you born? Which school did you go to? And all your early part of your life, just a bit about your background.
Hey, Pat, thanks, man, for this chance.
Mm.
Sometimes I really don't like to talk about it most of the time.
Yeah, I
There are
know.
certain parts which get emotional when we speak
Yeah.
about them, and as
Mm.
the age goes, you know that those things do come, called tears. But sometimes
Yeah.
I try to run away from such and from those
No,
sides.
no, it's fine to cry, man. I've
No,
got
no,
some
no,
tissues here.
no. Not with people, comrade. Yeah, no, in a nutshell, but look,
Yeah.
I'm born in Ginsberg.
Yes, sir.
I'm one of those, you call them teenage pregnancies, because
Yes.
my mother got me when she was still very young, at the age of
Mm.
18.
Mm.
And my father was 20. I think they just finished high school at the time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I grew up with my grandmother. Was my
Yes.
mother was very young, and
Mm.
I was taken to my grandmother Eckensberg,
Mm-hmm.
which is growing up with other siblings, our Big Joe, Mandla, Sugar, Pinky. We were
Mm.
all grandchildren under one number 311 Eckensberg.
Mm.
So I grew up there. The conditions were not that much of good conditions,
Mm.
especially when we were young. We were very poor. Our parents were not there. The grandmother, through his or through her, you call it pension,
Hey,
she took
in
us
the
to school.
order.
Eh? Yeah,
Mm.
then the water from she
Mm.
took us to school.
Mm.
Lucky enough for us, we went to a Sabbath,
Okay.
the church school. We studied there
Mm.
in the church school.
Mm.
And because things were very difficult, I didn't know my father till I was 9.
Mm.
I didn't know him till I was 9 years. And when I was 9 years, that's the time I also knew my date of birth. Otherwise, I didn't know my date of birth even
Yo.
then. So
Hey.
at the age of 9, we
Mm.
met this guy at the offices there, in King
Must
Williamstown.
Home Affairs.
Yeah, at Home Affairs, where you pay these things,
Oh.
what do you
Hey.
call them?
Hey. Hey.
Support money.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sup-
I think my grandmother took me for support money there. So I met
Okay.
the guy. Yeah, and I think
Mm.
I was already in standard one at that time.
Mm.
So
Mm.
he then asked me to come and join him also, and go and stay with them as well.
Mm. So were they
So
married now with your mom?
no, no, no. They
Oh,
never
okay.
married.
Okay.
No, they
Okay.
never married. My mother
Okay.
married another guy who's my
Oh,
stepfather. His name was
oh,
Luke.
okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
he wanted you to come and stay with him and his
Yes.
family. Okay.
Yes. Yes. But I went there. Then that's where I did my standard two.
Mm.
Um, but when I went there, I did not stay with him because he ran a ship in.
Mm.
So I went to stay with my grandmother also on the other side. And
Okay.
then Utabs was the person who was there for me. The Fundamani
Ungumntana
is
ungumntana ungumntana womakhulu basically.
yes, yes, yes. Makulu played a major role in my life. you
Mm,
know.
mm, mm, mm,
So I went there, kwa Dubs, and then I stayed with Dubs Nomakulu.
mm.
Dubs was a teacher at the time. So
Yes.
at least now my conditions of living became a bit better than I was in
Yeah.
Ginsberg. So I stayed
Okay.
there. I went to study Emanezi. From Emanezi, I went to Hector Peterson to do my standard six. Then it used to be called Malcolm Sebe. That was
Is
the
that
school.
where is that where you studied with Ujwah?
No, Johan Debena Forbes.
Oh,
We
okay.
met
Because he
Johan
says yeah,
Forbes.
he says yeah, eskolweni is standard 8, we're in the same class.
Yes,
Senza
yes, yes.
orals. Then umntakwethu wenza iyakhe ethi how I stopped smoking dagga. Uthi wabe enze izoli ngephepha lencwadi yesikolo. Thank you, Mazalen. Bring them on, sizozazi izinto.
Yeah. So the strikes of 1985 made things
Yeah.
difficult, you know. So
Mm,
I had to run to Ginsberg, you know?
mm,
And because Ginsberg was not the sky, I had to go
yeah,
back home to my grandmother. So that was
yeah.
1985. Then the unfortunate thing happened in 1986 when my grandmother died that side. So
Mm,
I had to now go to and stay with my mother. That's when I
mm,
started staying with my mother. And
yeah,
things didn't go well at the time. I
yeah.
decided to leave family and leave because I can't go back home in
Mm,
Zwelicha. I can't go, I can't stay with my mother. My grandmother is dead. I went to the
mm.
streets. I
Yo,
became a hobby, or not hobo, a
Aibo.
mother pipe. Yes.
So
I went to the golf course
where was this? Where was it? Was it in
in
Zwedish,
Ginsberg.
Kingdomstown or where? Yeah,
Yes.
Ginsberg.
Yeah, I can speak.
Mm,
So we went to the golf course as a caddy. I became a caddy there, and remember what I would do.
mm,
I will go and sleep. I will put my books and everything under the bridge, and then go to the golf course. Stay there with the guys. We smoke dacha. We smoke all those things. And after that, early every morning, I will wake up, go and pick up my books, go to school. At
wow.
first, So every day,
Yo.
because I knew school would be the only thing that will take me out of this situation that I'm in.
Mm, mm,
So I didn't
mm,
want to
mm,
lose school. Even
mm,
though I'm stoked, I joined a gang there
mm,
in Ginsberg. We would
mm,
steal those sheep in
mm,
Equalini and slaughter
mm.
them when we don't have people at the golf course to give us work so that we
Yo.
can be kiddies. If we don't make that, we go to town. You would go to sales house there. We go there
Mm,
with a car. We go in. The hangers were there.
yeah.
We go in there, put a hand, push them up, put them here, run into the car, off we go.
Hey, 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 hey.
Those were
You
survival skills we had.
you were together with these other guys there.
Yes, 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 with my friends, old friends,
Uh,
Abolaganda and many other guys at Ginsberg.
wow.
So from there, I then had what is called a regemalitis while we were smoking tar,
What happened? What did you have?
regemalitis. It's
Mm,
a sickness that you have, I think, where you don't feel your bones and you don't feel anything,
okay.
after smoking a lot of ijaja, that dacha you
Mm,
call it ijaja. After
yeah.
smoking a lot of that jaja thing, we were on top of a tippin, we call it a tippin, that place in Ginsberg.
Yeah.
Then I ran there to Mzira's house. When I went
Mm,
to Mzira's home, I got into the tap. I tried to wash, I couldn't, and I couldn't feel myself. The guys came and they were laughing.
mm.
Parents, Magam Zira became worried, took me to Grey Hospital. That's when I met
Mm.
my mother there again, and she begged me to come back home.
Yo.
Begged me to come back home, begged me to come back home. I
So,
think I
so, so
stayed
you
there.
so you couldn't feel yourself or your bones or something.
Yes, I couldn't feel it. Was like I'm a bunch of meat, no bones,
Mm.
nothing. So I was like anything is not moving in my mind. Like when I
Yo.
want to think something else, it is like a page moving,
Yeah.
something of that nature.
It was
So I
because of this dasa smoking.
yes, and the dagga we were smoking was not a good dagga. It was a
Mm.
jaja. You know, we had two types of dagga, ikobelo and ijaja. You know,
Yeah.
so ijaja is the one with no. It's a busy pattern. I don't know in English.
Yeah.
Yangena's pattern.
Okay.
So ijaja, that one was
Yeah,
dangerous.
yo,
You know.
it was a dangerous form of
Yes,
this.
yes, but I needed
Wow.
to smoke it. And glue, you know, we were doing glue
Yeah.
also, you know.
Mm. Mm.
So when I was in hospital, then my mother begged me to come back home, and then she sent the church there. You know,
Mm.
that's the worst part of that happened to me. She sent
Mm.
the church to invite me to church.
Yeah.
Abantu abanjengolunga, you know, they were coming in
Olunga
to
Kamten.
yeah, to come to church, you know. So I came back to church. This
Mm.
day, it was an effort of the young people. They call it the Voice of Youth effort.
Mm. Mm.
Hey, that's the day that turned my life around.
And just by the way, to explain for those people that may not know if an effort, it's a period of time where there's sermons almost every evening. You know, there's people that preach, and then so I'm just explaining. Sometimes the language it may
Yes.
not be known.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So the Voice
basically
of
it's a
Youth started to
yes.
do. Mm.
Mm.
And then Mem Mayaba, oh, Pastor Mayaba was the one who was conducting the Voice of Youth, and other young
Yeah.
people were speaking, you know. Then
Mm.
this day, the very last day, you know, then Mem Mayaba was making an appeal. In fact, after Mfundisi preached,
Mm.
then the church started to sing the song, I think, the Padule Kutenawe Yesu. Hey, that
Okay.
song hit
Mm.
me hard, Brett. It hit me
Mm.
hard. And I
Mm.
was
Mm.
sitting there with a friend of mine called Olaganda, George,
Mm.
you know. So
Mm.
we were sitting there and we were high, a bit high, because from there I had to smoke a bit, you know, because I
Mm.
needed to be okay. So when we
Mm.
were sitting in the church, then Mayaba said there is someone who needs to give himself to God at that day. And I
Mm.
thought it's not me. So I saw Alaganda standing up, and Mem was not was not
We're
finishing
not
this service.
stopping.
She
Mm.
was not stopping, you know. So
Mm.
I then had to wait, and I said, let me just stand up, and that's the day I gave in.
Mm.
So when I gave in, I think I was very much crying at that time, and
Mm.
lost
Mm.
everything in my
It
mind.
was
I then
emotional.
very emotional, comrade.
Mm.
I pledged that day that I am coming back to church. I
Mm.
came back to church. I was coming into church. This time, remember, I have never prepared to be at church. Um, and I had left the family. So I'm
Mm.
coming back, not knowing where I'm gonna be staying because I
Mm.
can't stay with my stepdad and all those things. I
Mm.
stayed,
Mm.
but I came to the house. I think I stayed there for few months till
Yeah.
the Kalaba family gave me an offer to come and stay with them. So I
Okay.
stayed with the Kalaba family. I became their
Mm.
son. That's
Okay.
when I strengthened myself in the faith, and I started to
But
get involved in the church.
just hold it there, Speed, before
Yeah.
you move, because I see that there's more people that have joined, and I just want to recap a little bit. In fact, the way that I'm thinking about, we should have actually said this program is from street to security to businessman. Uh, that part of you being in the streets, I really didn't know, and
Yeah,
but you've come a
I
long
don't
way,
talk
man.
about it. Yeah,
I can see I can see Omonez Ntleki, Faith Nchongo, you know, Tembelani Kyali, here Pindile Matrose, Uti Amakrotman, good to see you, Peter. Hey man, how are you? Nanku Upra Den Umvuseleli Sodlata, good to see you, Mtegas. Songezo Jobela, Siabulela Jodwana, Greco Pile, Mike Mtuduzi Dube, Maleshwana Tlabang, good to see you guys. Sti, Nozulu Mpafane, Mweno Kaka, Pumla Ngamlana, Bongu Wembunge. So many people are watching, and I'm sure that some of them are watching together with other people. And so, Spi, what he has done so far, he has given us a very brief but packed background of of how he was born, under what circumstances, and finding himself out on the streets, with living off the streets with other guys smoking dacha and glue, and trying to figure out how they can live. And now he has just told us how he got to church, that he was invited to this preaching series, and that is where he listened to a song, ethi "Ibhadule ndemka kuwe. I've wandered away from you, God, and now I'm coming home." And so he says that song touched him so much. And then he had not prepared to give himself to God, but he found himself up. And so, Spear, you said this family of the Talabas took you. Now, what happened to your illness of did you say rheumatitis? What happened to that? Was it sorted out?
Yeah, regain myelitis. Regain myelitis.
Gamalitis. Okay.
This is-
I've never
The
heard of
doctor,
this before.
the doctor told me that I should not touch any intoxication. You understand?
Yeah.
Um, that, and that's why he said rather smoke than drinking liquor or doing dacha. That's why I don't drink liquor even today.
Mm, mm,
People
mm.
don't know when I'm sitting with them. They say, "Why are you not drinking? Is it church?" I said, "No, it's not church. It's health reasons. Church will
Are you still
follow."
are you still continuing with Mjaja?
With
With Dacha and Mjaja?
no. No, 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 no. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You see, I can't do that. It's like if I get into an environment where there is petrol, or like for instance, when they pour petrol in my car, I have to close windows because that smoke messes my mind, you know. So,
Okay.
so I've got that particular condition, which I always run away from it. I hate a
Mm,
smell
mm,
that has
mm,
to do with glue or petrol,
mm,
or dacha. I can't
mm.
be in that environment. That's why even
Yeah.
in the stadium, I prefer to sit at the sweets than to sit at the extra strong because they're gonna
Yeah.
smoke me. They're gonna mess up my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
So the Kalaba family took care of me. I can say
yeah.
that because that's
Mm,
when I started to build my life and I became involved in the church
mm,
so much that I became a Pafana director.
mm.
Very early ages of my life. I think I was 17 then. I sat on the
They
church
they
board.
they they're in Ginsberg still.
Ginsberg Church, yes. I became a youngest member of the church board at the time, arguing issues. I remember when they say they can't baptize me because I was in the SRC at school. I argued that. That's when I studied my church manual, page to page, cover to cover, to understand what do they mean, why they say I can't be baptized yet I am here, So that's that time I wanted to be baptized. So
Mm,
so
mm.
I got baptized and I challenged it proper. Then I got involved in the
Yeah.
church. I became a youth director for many years,
Mm,
and
mm.
contributed to a lot of things in the church,
Yeah.
building, attending sessions at the very young age of my life.
Mm.
That's when I started to become part of the church. Then Ojoafa
Okay.
said, "Let's come to Cape Town."
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to the church part right now. But
Yeah,
I do want us to just take some few notes so that if there's any young person who's listening to what you are saying, for those young people to understand, because sometimes young people like to experiment with drugs and things like this. But from your
yeah,
experience, what you are telling us today, that there could be long-lasting ramifications, especially from a health point of view of that. So I think young people have to take. Now, let's move to how you became a security guard and where did this happen? And then we'll come
okay.
back to the church part.
Yeah, no, from when I went to the Kalaba family,
Yeah.
it was the time where I was about to finish my matric,
Mm.
So they took me to the bush, Bandolusa, and
Mm.
then from there, Utet Kalaba Wati is gonna get me a job. He
Yeah.
was he was a was one of the supervisors as security. The Red Alert at that time was getting in, was what just arrived in Kingdomstown, and he was
Mm.
appointed there as one of the guys to build the company.
Yeah.
Since he had a background of police, him and Tatu Gada. So most
Mm.
of us, we got ourselves into that security job. I became a
Mm.
security Ramo Arthur Bali, and
Oh,
many
my
guys.
God, to Arthur. Sadly,
Yes,
he died. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. So I got a posting to be at M Tanzania, Fort
Okay. As
Jackson,
a security guard.
as a security guard by Red Alert.
Okay.
That's where I was staying at Arthur's home,
Mm.
being a security at Gantech and Femtech, those
Mm.
factories. I was looking
Mm.
after those factories with that uniform that is crimpling. When it is cold, it is very cold. When it is hot, it is very hot. So we will sit there, but you must wear something underneath, otherwise you messed up. You messed
Yeah.
up from so from there, I was transferred to King Williamstown,
Yeah.
Irati. There's a factory there
Okay.
called Irati. That's when I was in that factory that I even developed a technique of sleeping when I'm doing night shift.
Yeah.
I will go to the pellets and stamp my thing like I'm gonna be every hour. In the 3 hours, I'll put the 3 hours and then go to the tree and sleep on the tree. You know. So this time, I think I was tanning.
Mm.
That's how comfortable I was. Then I
Hey.
fell. Yabona?
Yo. Yeah.
Ndabetheka kabuhlungu mfundini.
Eh.
So that's the time.
From the tree.
Was I've been thinking, was Joaka at that time had left for Cape Town looking for a job in Cape Town, but
Yeah.
we stayed a king.
A king. Yeah.
So Joaka said to me, "Hey, I think you will make it when you come to Cape Town.
Mm. Yeah.
You must come. So
Mm.
one time he came home. I think it was holiday. We had a long chat. I think we were coming from Spare's home, your Pastor
Yeah.
Mfumi's home. And I said,
Yeah.
moving down the Biko road. And I was talking to Joaka. Joaka said, you can do it, man. Just come
Mm.
to Cape Town,
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I said to Joaka, okay. So, but I was continuing working. That day
Working
when I
there.
fell on that tree, I decided I'm going to Cape Town now. I'm leaving this job. So I left that job. I went to my mother and I told him that I'm leaving. I'm going to Cape Town. Where are you going to stay? I said, I don't know. Then there was a cousin of her. She stayed in Malunga Park. She said, okay, I will try with my cousin, see if he can host you while we're
Mm.
there. Then I went there. I was wearing my reefs because I didn't have a shoe that time. I was
Mm.
wearing my reefs. And I got to Cape Town. Lunga was here, Chuacha was here, Tawix was here.
Mm.
So I was with them all the time when we got to Cape
Yeah.
Town. So Lunga borrowed me his pair of shoes
Yay. Yay.
when I
Yay.
got to
Yay.
Cape
Not
Town.
not
So
the
he gave
not the
me.
gum boots. The work.
No,
The
no,
work
we were going to
boots.
church this time because I can't go to church with my gumboots. I can't go to church with my gumboots longer. Had to give me his shoes. So
Yeah.
I took his shoes. I went to church.
Mm.
We came back. We stayed at Klansana's home.
Yeah.
That's where Tawix was. Joha was staying at Nicholas's home in Kuala.
Yeah.
Nolunga
And
was staying in
so,
Tanzania.
so to speak, it's quite an interesting thing for many black people of our age that
Hmm.
sometimes you would leave your home
Yeah.
without any knowledge of what is going to happen in the future,
Yes,
uh,
sir.
where
That's
you are
true.
going, and
That's
then you would
true.
just tell me about the value of friends, because it's clear to me that friends played a big role. I mean, you said you were talking with Joacha on your way, and he's the one who really inspired you to go to Cape Town. Just share with me about the value of friends in your life as you grew up and made major decisions.
You know, Pet, in my life, friends have played a significant role at all the stages. You see, when it's tough on the side, then friends come through and always help. As I'm saying, Ulifume preached a sermon in Ginsberg. I think we were 16 years of age at that time. He was coming from Kanzel after his conversion into the church.
Yeah.
This sermon was you are somebody designed for great things and for greatness. I don't know where he got that thing, but that thing
Yeah.
stuck in my mind since that day.
You are
That
somebody designed
yeah,
for great things.
yeah, for great things and for greatness. So that thing was I adopted it as my theme and my and my and my motto. You
Yeah.
understand? When things are tough, I always say I am somebody designed for great things and for greatness. At all times,
Wow.
every stage of my life, now I built a value within my name. Most people who know me, they know that I like to call my name Bongani Jack. And at that time, it means it's tough to me at that time. So when I say Bongani Jack, I know Bongani Jack means designed for great things and for greatness.
Wow.
That's I coined that within my name. So when I'm saying I'm Bongani Jack, I mean it because it ignites something in me. So my
Yes.
friends have played that role to me, where when it's tough, especially Usabel, Chwaha, from Ginsberg days, we will sit after he converted from drinking to church. So I was in
Ayirhabula nayo inkabi.
Akakum. So I was socializing him, trying to introduce him to church. I incubated him, into the
Yeah.
system of the church. So in those formative years, where he was still starting to balance, we will have
Yeah.
those conversations at his home. Sit there, talk about church, talk about how things are, and we discuss how we will look at in the future. So we had a future plan for us, which we would say when we are old now, when we come back to Ginsberg, this is what we will do when we come back to the church or to Ginsberg. Because church became what made us. Remember, we have guys we grew up with in Ginsberg. As we grew
Yes.
up with those guys in Ginsberg, some of them didn't make it, some of them had challenges. But Tina, it was a bond that we said we are brothers more than friends. That brotherhood has kept us to a point that says, "Mna no Sabelo, we married in the same house." We understand. That's how it is. So that Singabakwanyana of the same house, you
Oh,
know.
madoda.
So so
Hey.
so it was a brotherhood that
Nikwangabafumbisi.
we knew no one can break it. Whether you come in with your politics or anything, it's a solid one because that's how we found each other.
Yes.
So they played a role, especially in Olunga.
Okay.
Ulunga, very young age of my life, when I had nothing, he was there. I would stay at his home. I would sleep there at his. He had a shack there. We call it Dingham. It a Dingham. So we would stay in his shack. Uta weeks gave Uchuacha a shack, a spot for a shack, like a 21. Sasithi kusemaqhathini. So Jwaga's shack in Cape Town became emaqhathini. Longest shack was in Hambo.
Hey. Kudala nafukuza madoda.
Siyafukuza sizama ukwenza ubomi uphila. Sizama uphila.
Speed. Speed.
Yes.
Let me just read these messages here. Let me just read these messages because some more people have joined now. I can see that Umweno Gata is here. Nandi Pamabusera, good to see you. David Velapidigas, Achintansana, Zintle Kom, Tembi Mazaleni, Penny Brank, Neba Jack, Ayanda Vezi Kweyama, Lindy Wezingela, uthi upush upper bethuna the late Arthur Brown, and then athi Bongiwe Mbunge, the great pathfinder leader, wasimonela ukufa. And then Bongiwe also responds and say uthi great gone too soon. And B umlamli Mancala uthi kaloku umntu wentsango enemibono.
Yo, kodwa again.
Powerful testimony, Jack. Thank you. Now, before we move, I just want to know at what point, because so you got to Cape Town, were you matriculated at that time when you were doing a security guard? Did you have a matric?
I had passed my standard 10, which is my
okay.
Yeah.
So let's pick up from Cape Town now, from a work point of view. When you got to Cape Town, where did you work?
When we got to Cape Town, we started helping with Tanzana at his shops.
It is okay.
Yeah, Yona. We stayed there for some time. Yeah,
Mm.
and then I had asked Mama Tanzana because I wanted to go to school. Remember, in this whole period, there's a period where I started to do theology. Because I wanted to be a pastor in the church. I skipped that. When I was in King, I thought I was going to be a pastor. So the church invited me, they prayed for me. Accepted my call as a pastor, and I was taken to the Greeks program at Bethel, to do theology,
Okay.
So at that time, that's the time where I was it was not a full-time job. It was not a full-time study. It was home study mainly, with the Greeks.
Okay.
But you will go and attend few weeks in Bethel and then continue with your work. So that time I then moved to Cape Town thinking that I will continue with that thing because I really wanted to be a pastor. But when I say about it now today, I thought it was a calling, but apparently it was a missed call.
That's an interesting one.
So because I had that calling, I got involved. My involvement in church was to mean that because I couldn't go as a theologian and as a pastor, let me just work for the church on a full-time basis, and dedicate my life around the church issues,
Okay.
So I go to church. And then I asked the guys, I will plan programs. And then we worked in Tanzania. They gave us accommodation. They gave us salaries. We worked very hard till I went to Mama Tanzania and I said to her, I want to go to school, which is Pentec at that time.
Yeah.
She gave me 850 of registration that year. And then I went to register in Pentec. After registering in Pentec, Nicholas got me a job at Sanlam as a general worker. So I did filing at Sanlam at that time. So Sanlam took over my studies, and then I continued studying, and then Sanlam was paying. Because Sanlam had a loan, which you fail, it becomes a loan. If you pass, it becomes a bursary. That's how I got to study at Pentec.
Yeah.
It is when I went to Sanlam and as a fire clerk at Sanlam.
Okay, so you started as a general filing clerk, and then what did you study at Pentec?
At Pentec, I did marketing.
Yes. Okay.
I did marketing at Pentec. Then we moved to Cape Tech for our MTech studies. But it was all in Pentec before it was called Kaput now.
Oh yes.
And
at Sanlam SPI, you rose up quite quickly, working in the sort of aquarial. What is that? Aquarial science people.
Actuarial bit. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You went on a Sunday. So, but you grew up. So tell us about your growth within the financial industry or services at Sanlam and more.
So there's someone they do work, ne? Yeah. There's someone that says whatever you do, you must do it with all your heart,
Yes, sir.
So as a filing clerk at Sanlam, I did filing to the best of my ability. I will go to Sanlam and file things and also bind documents, bind contracts and all those things. I will even go on Sundays. By the time they want contracts, by Monday, all their contracts are there.
Ah,
Over time, I will work overtime, and then I won what is called a com camp at Sanlam through
the
filing.
what?
A com camp, which is an achievement that is big
Okay.
at Sanlam at that time. Through
Yeah.
filing, I was a good
Wow.
filer. I filed things and I binded contracts to my
Wow.
best of my
Wow.
ability.
Wow.
But
Sure.
when I finished my diploma, marketing diploma, I then went to ask a guy called Jan Brever,
Yeah.
who was the manager to me. Yes.
Speak. I
Yeah.
know you're gonna movement, but my feeling is that sometimes you need to back kwezinye points because,
Okay.
and I think for people that are listening, especially the young people that are listening that are wanting to grow in companies
Yes.
and wherever they want to grow, I think this point that you are making, that you
Yeah.
excelled in being a general worker, you excelled in
Mhm.
filing and binding stuff.
Yes.
Many of us would think that, oh, it's the most boring work, it's the lowest of the low, but
Yeah.
you bound these documents and you filed them such that the senior people that came found it easy to carry on with their work, and you did it
Yes.
excellently. And
Yes.
I think it's a point to be made, to be celebrated in your life, because clearly, although you started off the way that you started off, if there were people that were demographers at the time and planning your life, they would have said, this guy is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
along the journey, you took this motto from Pastor Lifume's sermon: you are somebody designed for great things and greatness, and you turn that into your motto, and
Yes.
you practicalize that by being excellent. And I
Yes.
think we need to give you a clap, man, because it's a point for young people and for all of us to know that to make it in life, we need to excel at whatever we do, no matter how low other people believe it is. So I wanted just to put a mark on that one.
Okay. Thanks, Ben. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you can
think
carry
so.
on.
Also,
Mm,
it's very
yeah,
important to note that I'm a motivated individual by nature.
yeah,
I wake up to read, and I
yeah,
wake up to understand things, and I want to know them. There is something that we used to have. There's a theme that Stasa had the other time, 1 year.
mm,
That theme of Stasa that says destination is not a matter of a chance, it's a matter of a choice. Not something to be waited for, but something to be achieved. That
yeah,
theme of Stasa, I engraved it also in my
mm,
system. That I can't wait for things to happen to me. I must make
mm,
things happen. I don't
yeah,
wait for things. I don't want to see. If I see here there's a paper that needs to be moved, I must move it. You understand?
mm,
And go and tell
mm,
someone whose paper is this because I've moved it because it's not supposed to be
mm,
here. You know,
mm,
I am such a person. I can't sit at the back of things. I am a leader, born a leader. So
mm,
I like to lead on things. That's why even when there's a chance, then when I finished my diploma, I said, okay, remember, design for greatness and for great things. Let me go to ask
mm,
Brian, can't I go to a marketing division of merchants of
mm,
Sanlam? So I
mm,
went to that marketing division. I spoke to a guy called Jan. Jan said, because of my English at that time, it would be difficult for me to move because I did not have a good English, comrade. Remember, since my English was not correct. So I won't survive in marketing.
yeah,
So I then said, "No, I'm not going to listen to this one." Then the CEO, Nick Christodoulou, did a
yeah,
presentation at Sanlam where he said his
mm,
door is open. You understand? Anyone
mm,
who wants to talk to him can come to his office. I
mm,
took the chance. I went to his office. And then
mm,
I told him what I've done, and I told him the achievement I have at Sanlam Comcamp. I think at that time I was 5 years, yeah, 5 years at Sanlam. So 3 years, 3 years, yeah.
mm,
So Nick said to me, I must speak to the HR or to his deputy. The guy at that time was yeah, it was John Walus. And then
mm,
John said to me, I must speak to the HR, HR, and I have HR. So we played cards with this HR lady. We played cards, and played cards. And then she called me. She says, go back to Nick and speak to Nick. I've given
Mm.
Nick my report. Nick called me. He said, he called Javi to do it in the consultants and actuaries division. Do you have a space for someone to join you on Monday? This is Friday.
Yeah.
And then I think Javi on the side said no. Then he says, no, create one because he's starting with you on Monday. And then he called Jan on this side. Jan Bongani is leaving your team, is joining Consultants and Actuaries Division at Sanlam.
Yeah.
So I went to join Consultants and Actuaries Division. I became an assistant consultant there. That's when I
Wow.
started understanding employee benefits and how things are done in the employee benefits. And then from
Mm.
employee benefits, oh, one thing I know, Pat, there's
Yeah.
a sermon that was preached by a Baptist preacher of
Mm.
Elijah and Elisha. You know,
Mm. Yeah.
this guy, in his sermon, he was saying, Pat, there,
Yeah.
if you want to play, or Elijah was always with Elisha at all times.
Mm. Yeah.
Everywhere he was going there. Now,
Mm.
Elisha wanted to know everything that Elijah was doing, to a
Mm.
point that says when Elijah left him,
Yeah.
then he went to start the work where Elijah started. You
Yeah.
understand? So that was
Yeah.
it. And then this guy said in his sermon, if you want to play in a different league, study the people of that league, what they do,
Wow.
and how they do
Wow.
things. You
Mm.
understand?
Mm.
So Ojoaka will tell you, when I was still a finance clerk, I would wear my suit and my tie, and I have a briefcase with my scarftin inside that briefcase, looking like I'm going to be an executive one day. That's what I was doing. Yeah, you like when you laugh when. That's what I was doing, but so I will do that. So even now in friendships, I decided
Mm.
to get to become a ball boy of these black executives who were coming into Salam. Abo
Yeah.
Myers, Abo Temba Mvusi, and most of those guys. Whenever
And
they
by the
want to
way,
do
I,
anything,
I had I had to put Vusi here. He was here
yes,
one time, twice.
yes,
Yeah, got him.
yeah,
Yeah.
people like him, I will go and chill with them and I sit with them,
Mm.
and then they start talking their things. I will be there. They run, they send me this and do that, but I won't tell it on this thing where they were sending me. But I was useful. I was useful for Makrotman. We are one.
Yes.
So from there, I think we were in one party. I don't know what party it is then. Oh, then Pramiles wanted a sales executive for the coastal region. Then they
Yeah.
asked him, why don't you take Bongani? You know?
Mm.
So that's how I got to that job, was I was
Wow.
given it. You understand? I'm a
Wow.
man. And that job, Ifika, at a time where I was already applying for the city of Cape Town for a job,
Mm.
Abo Pramagura, Abebe Funela yon. You understand?
Mm. Mm.
So
Mm.
so there's a job that was there, but the answer, or the when I went to that interview, they asked me a question: how do you know Noma India? How do you know Tura? How do you know this person? Then I asked
Yeah.
them, why am I here in this interview? Do I qualify or not? No, they say to me, because we were forced to appoint you. Then I said, this is the
Wow.
wrong place for me. That's when I
Ah.
left. I went back to
Mm.
Sanlam. I stayed at Sanlam. And I enjoyed
Okay.
myself at Sanlam. I became a sales guy and I was
Yeah.
pushing at Sanlam.
Just hold there, speak, and then because you know you're saying all of these things. What happened? I mean, you going to the CEO's office. You're ambitious. You're pushing.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, there are two things that I pick up. The first one, I'm just wondering what happened to that thing that said your English was not good enough. You can't you can't succeed here because your English was not good enough. What
That's why I
happened to
went
that?
back. That's why I went back to Yan and I said to Yan,
Yeah.
Yan, now I'm a senior guy at Sanlam. You still here when you said I will not have a good one, but now I'm here, and my English was used proper in the corporate space. Was I went and master the space of trade unionism in the. I chose my sport, I chose
Okay.
my niche. You understand in this.
Yeah.
Now, how do I know the trade union space too much? You
Mm.
will be surprised that Upumla Ngamlan, Upumla
Push
Ngamlan,
roll up.
yes,
Yes.
introduced me to a guy called Vusi.
Yeah.
She was working with this guy at GM, General
In
Motors,
PE.
in
Yeah.
PE. So Uvusi became my guy who introduced me to the entire NUMSA clan. You know,
Mm. Mm.
now, NUMSA, there's a guy called Gadon. Gadon is one of the greatest sales guys I always read and I like the most.
Yeah.
Gadon says, if he doesn't talk about if. He says, for you to succeed in the sales space, your
Mm.
clients become your friends.
Wow.
Surround your life around that space. And
Mm.
therefore, my life changed to become a church life, and I became all these guys, about Pums, about Jim, everyone became my personal friends. You understand?
Friends. Yeah.
When they
Mm.
became my personal friends, their friends became my friends. You understand?
Mm.
Then I
Mm.
started
Mm.
swimming in that pool because in my mind is that these guys are who I know. Like for instance, my wife would say, "You were with your friends all this time." Hey, hey, hey. No, I'm saying, yeah, they're my friends, but they're my clients. You call them my friends? Yes, they're my friends, but they're my clients at the end of the day.
They have a too.
Yeah, yeah. So Gadon says change them to become your
Mm.
friends so that when he's in trouble, at Sanlam Miles would say, Bongani, if your client, you are not the first thing in his mind when he's in trouble or when he needs a solution, you have not built your relationship with that person.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So when he's got a party, when he fights with his wife, when he's got a problem right there, the first person he calls bongs, hey, angihlanyela lo mfazi, okanye whatever he says, then you come in, they become your friends. These are your
Friends.
clients.
Yeah.
So Push
Yeah.
introduced me to that space. Then I immersed myself within the space, and then I started understanding how things are done, and I got involved in leadership battles
Wow.
and leadership
Wow.
pushing of these people to
Speak.
the top.
Speak, man. I don't know. Your life is just inspiring. You have a unique ability to listen because you mentioned speeches or sermons that were said by people. You draw out lessons from books. You seem to be very very alert in terms of what people are able to build relationships. So you've got so much that people can learn from you. Because I think your story is just amazing. But I met you at Stasa in the 90s, and I met your Stasa. You were a great musician, chorister with Pat Komafani, with Logic,
Yes, yes.
so
About
tell
you.
me briefly about, and then you even became the president of STASA, which is the Seventh Day Adventist Student Association. But it was great to know you, man. You were thinner, but I'm not saying that you fat now, but we were much thinner then. Do you remember those days?
I remember. Pat,
Yeah,
as I said, when you do something, you do it with all your heart.
yeah.
So I was in Cape Town, already became a pathfinder or in the youth. I immersed in the youth, I get involved with the youth. I became the president. I think there's no other black president that Youth Federation had in this except me,
Mm.
without my chips. Yeah. But I did a good job to become
Yes,
involved,
yes,
and
that's
I
good.
became
Yes.
a president of the federation with coloreds and white guys, your coloreds and black guys together. I became
Mm.
president of the federation. From there, Toto and Melizwe introduced me to Stasa. In fact,
Mm.
my girlfriend then, who is my wife now,
Mm.
went to Stasa in 1994. I
Mm.
think you guys, Abo Solombela, Abo Nicholas, when she came back from Stasa, she was excited about this. I said, okay, I've been hearing about this thing. 1985, I'm joining this thing. So I
Mm.
joined it in 1985.
Yeah.
1995, sorry.
Yeah.
95. So I went to Stasa in 1995. I joined Stasa, but I was attending smaller things before then. But my full involvement started in 1995. I think the camp was in Pulukwan. Yeah, was 96. It was in Fort Beaufort at Cape College, um,
Speak.
and that's the introduction
I
of my
lost you a
phone.
little bit. Sorry,
Yeah.
I lost you a little bit there.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that I'm connected. I lost you there. So you're saying you, let me check. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so you said she was excited. Your wife, who was your girlfriend at the time, she was excited about Stasa, and then you joined in
Yeah.
1995. Yes.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yes.
1995, I joined SDASA. I attended SDASA. I didn't get involved at that time. I think the death of Logic, I was enjoying Logic and Cleaner all the time in terms of
Yeah, okay, yeah,
yeah, in terms of music at Stasa. And
yeah.
then I got involved at the Cape Conference side of things because we launched Cape Conference I think in 97, 97, 98.
Mm,
Was we didn't have a conference chapter. We only had the local chapters. So we
yeah.
joined and we formed, and then we made Solombela our president, and following year, yabang Mr. B, yabon? And after that,
Mm,
yabang Mpumza. So at that time, I was an organizer, constitutional person, and all those things. Then the death of Logic gave me a space to come. I think Boise asked me, was he came to Cape Town we had a media in Cape Town, so I was conducting here, leading here.
mm,
So National Conference of Stasa Boys said, please take over. We don't have
mm,
another person to help us.
mm. With
So
the
I
with, with
took
the
over Stasa.
choristering and conducting music.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, choristering at Stasa. Then I
Mm,
choristered at Stasa, I think in 98, 99, 2000, I was elected on the national committee as a
mm,
campus ministers director for
yeah.
Stasa. So I
Mm,
stayed in that position for some time and changing. Then I became a deputy president of Stasa. And then Mobile said to me, over a dead body, I'll be a president of Stasa. Said, I will show you. And then I became president of Stasa, 2008.
wow.
I
Wow.
became
Wow.
president of
Wow.
Stasa.
Yes.
So it's because when I do something, I do it with all my heart.
Yes. That's
When I
right.
started
That's right.
changing, putting programs in place at Stasa,
Mm,
like the matches, the community involvement, the donations, the t-shirts, and all those
mm,
things, starting to
yes.
change the landscape of the organization. Saying,
Mm.
in fact, Ubongi will tell you, we will stay at the place I stayed at Kukletu,
Bongi wembunge.
crafting the constitution of Stasa, Bongi
Yeah.
Wembunge, crafting the
Yes.
constitution of Stasa, putting together. In fact, the current you see Stasa constitution, it was done Guguletu.
Okay.
Myself and Bongi crafted it. Then we built what is called now a 7 pillar strategy of Stasa. They are still talking about it now. Only PET now is changing to a different approach. It kept us for a long time.
Well, for those people who do not know, we've been having, I'm a coach and sort of consultant, so I was working with DASA leadership to review the strategy, and we've done some work there, but I think it's still under discussion. We're fast approaching the end, but I want you to talk
Yeah.
to us about Mergence Group.
Okay.
But before we do that, I just want to acknowledge here, I see we have got Lim Kabulo, Nkululo Mpala. Africa, Diwu. Good to see you guys. Muzinkala, Biz. Oh, Ubiza, Stupane, Usisinzanza, Saunders. Hey, Sisinzani, I thought I was going to chat to you yesterday, Kwalanga, but we left. Simpiwe Nelani. Oh, Klegas. Lutando Ndabambi, good to see you. John Flemmer, uthi, love your systematic approach. I think he's correct. Umem Nomtandazo Papu saying the Lord will make you the head, not the tail. If you pay attention to the commands of the Lord your God that I give you this day and carefully follow them, you will always be at the top, never at the bottom. Soldier on booty was a Ginaiza. John Flemmer coming back again saying, outstanding youth president and deeply spiritual vessel used by God. I was part of that journey. I also remember those days.
Yes, sir.
Uphumla Ngamlane is back, which is Sporo Maponga, here to fill in the big shoes of Marara and preach in one of our mid-years. Wow. And my goodness, he preached on John 3:16. You know, Steve, you're creating these vibes and memories in the minds of people. Oh man, this is an awesome conversation. The insights are crazy. Mark is watching. Amy is watching. There are so many people that are watching. And by the way, those of you all you are watching now and who will be watching in the future, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which go and do it now whilst you're still listening, which is called Moments of Insight and Growth. This is one such moment of insight. We're learning insights here from the life of a simple man, a man by all intents and purposes, who should not be where he is now if you were looking at the start of his life. Everybody who was anybody would have actually did one and two together and say three, but somehow God stepped into your life, Sporo, and you mentioning the role that God played in your life, church played in your life, friends, families, and many people. And then you yourself also took charge of things. Your ambition, your growth, your intentionality is amazing. Now, I want us to talk about your role where you are now at Mergence. How did you join Mergence? I think you've been there, man, for close to 20 years. Tell us a bit more about what the company does, what your role is in there, and how did that come about?
Okay, so at Sanlam, I we had a time where we were not sure whether we were moving or not, and we were going. And then I started looking out for jobs because we were on Section 197 at that time, because
Yeah,
they were ending employee benefits. And then at that time, that's when I was moved into the asset management side of business, which is SIM. I
yeah.
joined SIM
Sanlam
as a
Investment
sales,
Management. Okay.
yes,
Mm,
as a salesperson, as a business development individual.
mm,
So I joined SIM with my union background, in my union relationships and all those things, building that relationship from that side. And then I met this guy called Massimo Makaman, who is the founder of Mergence.
mm.
We met in a conference. We call it IRF, the IRF conference. We flew together in that
Yeah.
flight. In fact, Satibana said, Porsche's tongue at
Mm.
the airport. We're polishing our shoes at the airport. So as we were about to get into the flight, he started talking to me, this guy. He says, hey, I've seen you and I've heard a lot about you. I would like you to
Mm,
join me one day, you know?
mm,
And
mm,
then I go to Miles, my immediate boss at the time. Miles, there's this guy who says I must join him. So we Googled his company, Mergence.
mm.
Hey, at that time, this company was very funny. You know, it had 4 people in it. And I said, no, Brahmanas, I can't do that. So Brahmana says to me, okay, I think it's a great opportunity to build yourself here. Go
Mm,
and negotiate shareholding in that business because it's too small, and then bring your clients there, and then once you negotiate that, you will be okay. And then
mm,
Miles said to me, "Okay, that's fine." So I agree. We said, "If it fails, I'll create. I will always have a space for you at Magic
mm,
at Sanlam, you know."
mm,
So I then speak to this guy. This guy comes back to me, and I'm saying, "No, I'm still scared." Even Miles telling me this thing, I'm still scared to join him. He comes back to me. We meet in Long Street I was with my wife that time. He comes to my wife. He says, "I want to give this guy a chance.
mm,
My ancestors are telling me that I need this guy. You understand? I need him to.
yeah,
I need this guy."
mm,
So my wife asked me, "Why are you not joining?" I said, "Ish, it's a tough one, yeah, but I still have a chance. I still have Sanlam. We'll see." Then I decided to take a chance. I took a
yeah,
chance. Um, After I read the good story of Alexander the Great. You know Alexander the Great?
yeah,
Yeah, Alexander the Great was a great guy. He's known as the best fighter. You understand? In the world,
mm,
or in all times, he's the
yeah,
great fighter. People
mm,
wanted to know what is his skill. Why is he so good?
yeah,
Why he's so good this much. Then they started watching his fight, how he fights, how his wars, how he wins it, how he moves and do those things. They didn't
mm,
find anything. They noticed one thing only.
mm,
Because Alexander the Great had a weaker right hand. You
yeah,
know, he had a
yeah,
weaker right hand. Now,
mm,
why would you be the best fighter yet you have a weaker right hand?
yeah,
And they found out his best friend fought on his right hand side in all wars.
wow, wow,
In all
wow,
wars, he fought on his right hand side. And if that guy is not available, Alexander will never go to war. You
mm,
understand?
mm,
Now
mm,
they coined a right hand man through
mm,
that. You know,
wow,
so Alexander the Great. So that story said to me, there are people in life who have a very good, you call it a clear vision.
yeah,
Some of us may not be those people with that thing,
that,
but
yeah,
you can be the
who are
best right hand.
visionaries,
Yeah,
yeah,
but you can be the best right hand man of anyone. You
mm,
understand? And
mm,
then the next thing, which is very important, Pet, you must understand, is that most great guys don't
mm,
succeed in life, you understand,
mm,
without that individual next to him. you
mm,
know so
mm,
so 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 the sport I have chosen, and most people don't succeed because they don't have a sponsor. You understand?
yeah,
You need a
yeah,
sponsor to succeed. You understand? I looked
mm,
at this guy called Massimo and I said, I can be a right hand man of this guy. I don't care what
okay,
says. This is the sport I'm choosing. This is the
mm,
space I'm gonna be at. You understand?
yes,
And
sir,
I'm gonna
wow,
build with him. You understand?
mm,
So
mm,
I joined Legends. At the time, they were about 2 billion, 1 billion, 1.5, 2 billion. I knew if I push this business, it's an asset management business, we will
yeah,
be able to grow this thing.
mm,
Currently, if I can tell you, we are currently managing around the 8 billion
wow,
assets under management. We've built
sure,
this business bed with Massimo being the right there at the right hand side of him,
mm,
with his vision, building his vision. We
mm,
bought into a business called Measures Capital Markets. We have a business called Measures Corporate Solutions. We have a business called Measures Commodities Finance. We branched into the industrial space now where we have a factory on composites. We have a
mm,
factory on steel. Our biggest contract
mm,
now is with Kibela, which is 10 year to do 1,200 trains. The train inside is done by us. Our factory is in Jamestown.
okay,
We
mm,
do the interior of the train, which is the door frames, the chairs, the cylinders, the roof
the roof,
aids,
yeah,
the front ends of the train, and then
mm,
our factory of steel does the bogies. We do armored
okay,
vehicles. We do a lot
mm,
of things in that factory on the steel side of
wow,
things, and that's the
wow,
business we've built. And it is a sport I've chosen to say I am here to build with this guy and
mm,
building his vision.
mm,
So I
sure,
took shareholding into the business, and I'm involved. We also had a powerful property side of the business called Merchant, which called Dipula. It was Merchant's Properties. We listed it in 2011. Now it is called Dipula Income Fund. It's a
mm,
11 billion market cap, 200 properties around the country, malls
wow,
and
wow,
offices. So we in our office in Johannesburg, the building itself called Fire Station. At the 12th floor, that's where we are. We've got offices in Namibia, we've got offices in Lesotho and Swaziland. We've been building this thing over those years.
Wow, wow, wow. I must applaud you, and I think all of us applaud you because we see the man, this is a story of real success. And but what I like most, Spee, is that you carved a spot for yourself. You did not want to push, did you say Mosimo aside? You knew
Yeah.
his role, you have your own role, and together with all the people that are involved, you guys are pushing forward. Congratulations on your growth. And I think Africa, requires and needs organizations like these, that are making real stuff. I mean, if you're talking about trains, talking about components, I mean, sometimes black people were called, BE is about, shareholding only. You get into the management, you become the board. That's how you make
Yes.
your money. But there's nothing,
We
there's no
roll our hands.
manufacturing. Yeah, yeah, yes.
We
And,
roll.
and
We
and this
roll.
model that you are talking about is really, really something to be marveled and encouraged. Yeah, and I know we run away, we've run a bit more. I see Upesh Kappa is here. Untobs Hlubi Goli, Mimi Ntsokolo. Good to see you guys. Masabata Matabo, Matabo Mahato, Stevens, Olivia, Yonela Majola, James, Uzandiswa, Nunkula, Langa, Lumpefumlo, Kamatomela, Siamtanda, Mkais, Samtanjiswa. Good to see you. Nagunwabisa. Peace and Majav. Hey, you are such a popular man, Spee. And now I know why. I mean, you out of all this thing, you still remain yourself. You remain humble, and you still remain connected to your roots. No one can say that because you have achieved these levels suddenly, you know. Tell us about that. Your humility is amazing. Is that has to do with this background that you grew up? Is that has to do with the relationship with God? Tell us about that. Where does it come from?
No, but the issue there is that look, um, I'm a child of God. Let's start there. I'm an
Mm,
Adventist, you know,
mm,
and
mm,
and whatever we do, I know it is not for us. I'm just a steward of the things that God has given me, you know,
mm,
and I cannot boast around those issues. The
mm.
issue that I can boast with, as Paul would say, it's that I know Christ. That's what I can
Ah,
boast about, you know.
wow,
So I
wow.
am who I am because Christ made me. And
Mm,
and 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 there's a verse I liked in the Bible that says, "Our sole purpose of living is to serve God and serve men." So I'm here to serve men and serve God. That's all. So
mm.
there's no way akwazi umphakamela umuntu omsevayo. There's no
Yeah.
way you can't. Even if you want to, you can't. You're serving. You're a servant to that individual, and that's my
Mm,
job.
mm,
I can't be aloof, but I want to serve this person. How do I serve him if I'm aloof? You know.
mm.
So my stance in life is around that. I
Yeah.
am here to serve God and serve men. I'm a
Wow.
service to everyone. That's why I get
Mm.
involved in issues.
Yeah.
Therefore, I can't have cheap.
Yeah, on your shoulders, which
No, I
which is
can't.
powerful. It's a real
Yeah.
powerful stuff that comes out, I must say. But also,
Yes.
for I mean, I'm mentioning this because it's true. Many times, particularly we black guys who struggle with our at the beginning, we
Yeah.
meet our wives. As
Yeah.
soon as we succeed, we drop them and look for new models. But you see, you are committed to your family, you value them, and that's amazing thing. Also, just share your thoughts about that as well.
Yes, pet.
Mm,
Most important thing in life, there's this verse in the Bible.
yeah,
It's in Second Peter.
yeah.
That verse in the Bible in Second Peter, it says, if your wife is hurt, God will punish you. You know, I'm paraphrasing it.
He will not even respond to your answer, to your
even
prayers.
if you pray, God will not answer. God will not answer. I get scared. I get scared to hurt my wife. There's no way. I don't want to hurt my wife. I protect her by all my means, and I know I am who I am because she was there. You understand?
Mm,
And
mm, mm,
in all my journey, I've been with her.
mm,
We met very early in
mm,
1993. You
mm,
understand? So
mm,
all these changes of my life, she's there. You
mm,
understand?
mm,
She's
mm,
been a
mm.
pillar to me. She's been an encourager, and there's no way now I could just decide to say she's no longer good enough for me. She's
Mm,
sacrificed. You understand a lot
mm,
to
mm,
to make sure that our kids are looked after, you
mm,
know. And
mm, mm,
I transferred some of the responsibilities to her to
mm,
grow and mold and nurture the family, as Ellen
mm.
White would put it.
Yeah.
The role of a woman is
Mm,
nurturing. You
mm,
understand? They
mm,
nurture the family. You can't be
mm.
fighting with your wife to punish your kids, or to what do you call them? You're not punishing them, but to grow your kids and giving
Discipline
discipline
them.
to your kids. You can't be fighting. It's her role. You know, when they are there,
Mm,
they do their thing. So
mm,
we must allow that thing to happen. You understand?
mm, mm, mm,
Parenting is
mm.
a very important thing, which I was talking about with Obridge yesterday.
Yeah.
We were talking about another case that was there. So I said
Yeah.
to the guys, in fact, Nabulunga, I learned it from Adventist home that parenting is something that we must take it very seriously, especially
Mm,
fatherhood. UYesu uthi xa ebafundisa, our Father who art in heaven, he's teaching
mm,
them to pray. And the question is, why would he choose Father? You
mm,
understand?
mm,
Because he thought, okay, Father is a provider, Father is a protector, Father is someone who someone who guides, someone who does all those things. That's what a father does. You understand?
mm,
And
mm,
therefore, as a father, you understand that you have a responsibility to guide, lead, protect, provide for your family at all
mm,
times. You understand?
mm, mm,
And then she says, our kids have our own genes. That means ubugwenxa bethu ubuvelela kubo
mm, mm, mm,
kusesithathu
mm, mm.
nakusesine isizukulwane, isn't
Right.
it?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so, so you must notice this thing, Pat. Your
Mm,
kids faces most of the things you faced in life.
mm, mm,
They
mm,
will
mm,
face them. That's
mm.
why you are here now, so that you can guide them because you've been
Mm.
there and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
understand the issue better.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
now, if this thing is hereditary in my family that we will do this thing, if at 19 years of age you will commit suicide, at 19 years of age, my son tried it, I tried it, it happened before, but I could have looked at it earlier and know
Mm,
that at 19, this thing's gonna happen.
mm, 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 mm,
So
mm,
it happens.
mm,
I know it.
mm,
I have seen it.
mm.
And if we don't play that role in our families, it means we will not be great parents
Yeah. Yeah.
as God wants us to be. You understand?
Mm.
We must be great
Okay.
fathers and give our wives space to thrive.
Thank you. Thank you, Spee, for that. And I think we are fast approaching the end. I think we've covered quite a lot. I do want your space is marketing and sales. And there might be someone who's listening here who aspires to be a business person, a young woman, a young man who wants to learn from you. Can you just share? I mean, you've spoken about, the need for you to build relationships with your clients, to become your friends. Share with us other lessons, marketing or sales lessons that you can share, maybe one or two, three more that you can share with people that want to grow in this field or that want to make a name or a business in this sector of sales and so on, and financial industry as we conclude.
Okay, quickly, Ben. I'm just saying, one of the things that I think it's important, Your personality, you must understand it very well. Understand
Mm,
who you are, understand your personality, understand things. You understand? A salesperson cannot be someone who gets discouraged when we are disappointed.
mm.
You understand?
Yeah.
And you don't get discouraged because you've got this personality which is vibing and all those
Yeah.
things. You're gonna try again and try again and try again.
Yes.
It's gonna give in. You understand?
Mm,
Now
mm,
that's one. You don't get
mm.
disappointed when you get rejection. You understand?
Yeah. Yes.
Secondly, as I said in the beginning, create an environment for you. We understand to
Mm,
become a trusted advisor. We understand
mm, mm,
to your clients. They must trust who you are. We understand.
mm,
And
mm,
and three, build relationships. You understand?
mm-hmm.
You have ways of building relationships. You can read them everywhere how you build relationship, but build
Yeah.
relationships. You succeed
Mm,
in the space through
mm,
relationships. Merchants
mm,
succeeded because of relationships. And
mm,
and another thing that we used, understand your client needs at all times, even things that makes him tick, makes him
mm,
happy, enjoying, and all those things. Create those environment for those guys.
mm,
For instance, when you come to my space
mm,
of asset management, I have built a vibe in the space which was never there. I
mm,
can say it. It was never there. These guys will
mm,
come in, consultants will come in. So what I've done, I've created an environment where our clients have fun. We have
mm,
events. You see us in Cubana, you see us in Ayep, you see us in these places because you know these guys like these places. Make them there,
mm,
keep them there. You understand?
mm,
Where they like,
mm,
when they know that Bongani is there, they know they're gonna have fun. You
mm,
understand? When they
mm,
have fun, then you remind them that guy, you didn't give me that business. You didn't give me that business. You can't drink because you didn't give me business. You know those things. But I'm just saying, you
yes.
create an environment for them to start enjoying themselves. It must not be difficult to meet you. It must be
Mm,
an excitement from a
mm,
client. If he gets a call from you and says, "Hey, Boomsy, where are you?" He must say, "I am here. Where are
mm,
you?" Or else,
mm,
when we come into a conference like the IRF conference we're going to, one of
mm,
the things they are looking forward to be in an environment where you're gonna be in. You understand? You're
mm,
gonna be at.
mm,
So those are
mm,
things I'm saying. As a sales guy, you cannot. There is no time. You must have a plan. I always say, if you have a target, whatever target, in terms of your pipeline and your target, it must be 6 times your target. You understand?
mm,
It must be six
mm,
times your target. And
mm,
the effort you put must be 6 times your target. And I
mm,
always say you are as good as your last sale. You
mm,
understand? You
mm,
can't say
mm,
you are a rainmaker. That's who you are. You are a rainmaker. So you are as good as your last sale. The rain must also today. We need a rain today. You understand? You need a rain tomorrow. So create
mm,
a pipeline, you understand, of clients that you
mm,
know they will always be there. You can build this year for next year. You understand?
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
like for instance, when you're putting it, you've got the low hanging fruits, you've got mid, and you've got a long term. You understand?
mm,
Your low hanging fruits is those things that you've built 2 years, 3 years ago. They
mm,
become low hanging fruit this year, and
mm.
next year it's medium. They become low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You bring them.
Okay.
That's what you do. So that's
Mm,
how you build your sales things. As a salesperson, there is no dull moment. There's no 24 hours. There's no hours. We work 24
mm,
hours. 24 hours. You understand?
mm,
We
mm,
don't have
mm,
time.
mm,
People would say, "Where are you?" I am here. I find I'm here. I'm in Durban, I'm there. I'm in Joburg, I'm there. Cape Town, I'm there. You understand? I always say I'm 2 hours away from you. At all
mm,
times, you
mm,
will find me when you want me.
mm,
It
mm.
becomes an important thing. Then your family
Yeah.
must understand that. If your family don't understand that, then there's a problem right there. You won't succeed. You understand?
Mm.
Because you have to wait for things to happen. You don't
Yeah.
make things happen.
Happen. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Speak. Hey, Sihluti Fondini, you've given us a lot to mal. I mean, I was taking notes right through our conversations, quotations to quotations. You said, you know, you are somebody designed for great things and greatness. You said things like church became what made us. Whatever you do, do it to your best of ability. If you want to play in a different league. Study the people in that league. You know, you if you want to play in the PSL, you can't watch the township league
No,
where you
no,
are.
no.
Get advice from, and I think that one thing I liked about what we're saying, which I'm seeing, I'm a leadership coach, as you know, but what's one
Yes,
thing I'm seeing, especially among young professionals and even pastors, is that they don't seem to have old, older professional people that they can get advices from. You spoke about being close to Omar Rotman. You're listening to what they say. When you're making a decision, you go and check with them. What do they think about this? And I think that's beginning to be missed today. And you find that a lot of young people are making a mistake after mistake because they don't have people that can advise them. And from what you were saying, you got advice from older people, much more experienced, and you make your decision. And then you also said you can be the best right hand man to anyone. You don't have to take away someone else's shine, but you can shine where you have chosen to shine. So don't get discouraged when disappointed. So many things, man. I think there's a book in you. So, there's a book in you. So, and I want to read the conclusion remarks from people that have written here. You know, Andile Ndwandwe, Ovuyani Daimani, Isaac Chiokoma, Andile Jambo, Jumbo Tsokolo, Buhle Hlatshwayo, Nomthandazo Phaphu Mem, uthi ndilingqina bethuna. Ubabalo Kwanini, I think he's in Saudi Arabia or thereabout. Uthi bravo, Sporo. Sisibaxolile Zwane, uthi powerful words of encouragement right there. Ukuqala ukuhlakanipha kumesaba uJehova. Uthi unatsika uAce uthi please bet ask umhlekazi why bembiza Sporo. Yes. And then uLuthando Ndabambu uBhomoyi uthi I remember his first jet car. Eish einhlitha uBrasporo kanobomi emshow wafundela ukuqhuba kulaa moto. As we conclude, just tell us about where does this name Sporo come from? Because before everybody knows you as Bongani, everybody know you as Sporo.
Yeah, no, I tried to play soccer when I Ekensberg,
Yeah,
a team called Aces there.
yeah.
So I was playing there a role called number 7. They said to me, I am Sporo Mike Mangena then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how it came about. Then when I was in church, it followed me in church because
Mm,
most of the guys I was with Ekasi, so they knew me. Then they liked it, and it became my name. I decided to adopt it.
mm.
It's my name.
Yeah, I know. I know. There's so many things that we could talk about, Spee, but I
Yes,
think you've
yes,
given us enough. I think you've given
yes,
the nation enough today. And now,
yes,
people that did not know your background story
yeah,
know now. And not only do we know, but we're inspired, we're encouraged, we are motivated. And I would like to ask those people that are watching us on Facebook and on YouTube right now to share this video with your friends and with your family, and so that they can watch them, like it. But also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Moments of Insight and Growth. Go there now before you forget. Subscribe. We want more numbers so that we can help much more people. We can inspire more people, but we can interview more people as well. Now, Sibusiso Fakute, uthi very inspiring, sir. Thank you, Sbu. Siyabulela mhlobam. But I want to appreciate also everybody that has taken time to watch and join us this afternoon, and those who have commented and given us another side of Spee here. And I really appreciate the time that you have taken on your Sunday. And I wish you all the best. Spee, maybe you've got some few remarks before we wrap up, just to say bye to our viewers.
yes. No, thank you, Pat. As you know, it has been a difficult time, especially during COVID periods. and the challenges we are facing. And I want us to be advocates of a lot of things, especially the anxiety that is killing our people in this country. And I always say to people, increase your faith. When you're faced with these mental issues, increase your faith. You understand? It's not easy, but increase your faith. When I had COVID, the only thing that sustained me, even I told the doctors, it was music and my faith. You understand? I believed in God. And I still say we have a chance. Now, one writer, he says,
Yeah.
if your vision is the moon, you don't use a car to the moon. Yeah. So choose the right apparatus for you to get to the moon. Otherwise, you will not. Ungayibheki imbiza ngosho ngetotshi. You understand? Ayizobila, even if you see the light, but ayizobila, but you understand?
Ayizobila.
Go and find what works for you. You understand? And be able to have people who can guide you. As I'm saying, sponsor people who will sponsor your life, who will be guides to you as you move, and also making sure that you strengthen yourself and your faith in God, knowing that nothing happens to you except God has allowed it to happen to you. You understand? And He has given you sufficient strength to overcome it. Take a break if things are tough. Take a step back and then look at it, and then you will see that, okay, let me pass this way. Other things, other battles, we will never win in them. We will never win them. Other battles, we will win them. But you must know when to say it can't happen. And
Yeah.
the inspiration of God will be the only one that tells you that thing. And also make sure that your wife becomes a backbone. If you have a partner, that partner becomes a backbone of your success. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone
man.
who has watched this thing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Pat, for
Naku doc,
inviting me also.
yes, thank you. Naku Dr. Makola, Dr. Makola Makola, much inspiring indeed. And there's so many people that are joining on all platforms, YouTube and so on. Great stuff. Andile, Ucho Apa, Pat, John Flemmer, afternoon. An afternoon well spent, so inspiring. God bless. Thank you so much. Tando Melano Fundis, Uti, great, Sporo. He was so inspired by you after your meeting with last week with Kajeni. I think you met somewhere with Pastor Tando. Uti ulungile mbungu uKajeni. Uti B. God bless you and your hustle. I'm really encouraged by your path and this path now. Trusted advisor resonates with me so well. Uthetha lenyani ndikuyo ngoku. Well done, man. Your passion, diligence, and drive is amazing. You're doing us and our children very well. Uma Sabata, uti passionate, driven, ambitious, and God-fearing. Sporo, write a book. The people are talking. The people are talking, Spi. All right. Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank you
lot,
so much.
Pat. Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother. And I want to say thanks also again to everyone who watched this program. Please share it. Make sure that we bring more people like this to the table so that other people can be inspired. These bones can live. No matter what happened, if you heard the story of Spee, his bones could not work, but they live now, and he's alive and he's making other people live. So thank you so much, Spee. All the best. Buli Sekai.
Sure, thank you. Thank you,
All
Pat.
right. Take care. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your afternoon. All of you. We'll see each other next time for another great program. Yeah. I hope I haven't left out anyone, to those people that have managed to join and comment. I want to thank those that keep sharing the posters that we send. That is very, very crucial, because many more people get to hear and get to see and get to join us. We appreciate also for your comments. All the best to you for the rest of this week. God bless. Cheers. Bye.